Before you ever sit down for an interview, there's a lot you can and should learn about the person you're going to speak with. This isn't about jumping to conclusions or forming judgments. It's about understanding context, because the more you understand the individual, the more focused, fair, and effective your interview will be. We usually think of this preparation in two parts: internal review and external research. First, you look at what already exists inside the organization, such as any internal records. This includes personnel files, things like job role, responsibilities, reporting lines, and how long the person has been with the company. These details help you understand their position in the organization and what they should reasonably know or have access to. Then you look at performance and disciplinary history, not to assume wrongdoing, but to see if there are any relevant patterns or previous issues that connect to the current investigation. You also check operational records, things like attendance logs, badge swipes, system logins, or workstation data. These can help confirm where someone was and when, which is often critical in building timelines. And finally, you review digital communications where appropriate: emails, chat logs, or system activity. These records can show how people were interacting before, during, and after an incident, and sometimes they reveal connections that aren't obvious at first glance. After internal records, you may also look at publicly available information as external research. This is often referred to as OS1INT, open source intelligence, and in today's world, it's hard to imagine an investigation that doesn't include it in some form. A basic starting point is search engines. Something as simple as a name search can sometimes reveal relevant context or publicly available information. Social media is another common source. Platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or X can sometimes provide insight into relationships, activities, or statements that are relevant to the investigation. In some cases, public records can also be reviewed, things like court records, bankruptcy filings, or licensing databases. These are not used to assume guilt, but to understand background, credibility, and potential context. And in financial or fraud-related cases, property and asset records can sometimes help establish whether there are unexplained financial indicators that may be relevant. Another key part of background research is verification. It is used to verify facts and credentials. Unfortunately, not everything on a resume or application is always accurate, so investigators may verify education, certifications, or professional licenses directly with issuing bodies. In some cases, even driving records or employment history checks may be relevant, especially where compliance, safety, or integrity issues are involved. The goal here is simple: confirm that what you're being told about a person matches what can be independently verified. Why this matters in the interview. All of this preparation gives you real advantages once the interview begins. First, it helps you establish a baseline of credibility. You'll know what is already confirmed, what is uncertain, and where the gaps are. That allows you to evaluate the accuracy of what the interviewee is telling you in real time. Second, it helps you build rapport. Small details like understanding someone's role, interests, or communication style can help you start the conversation in a more natural and less intimidating way. It also helps with safety and risk awareness. If there are known behavioral risks or prior incidents, you can take appropriate precautions before the interview takes place. And finally, it helps you understand possible motivations. Knowing relationships between individuals, whether cooperative, strained, or adversarial, can help you better interpret the information you receive. Also, please take serious note of ethics and professionalism. At the same time, this kind of research must always be done carefully. Investigators need to respect privacy laws and organizational policies. In many cases, especially where third-party checks are involved, consent may be required. There's also a risk of bias. If you read negative information about someone beforehand, it can unintentionally influence how you interpret their answers. Good investigators stay aware of that and keep an open mind. And finally, discretion matters. Background research should be done quietly and professionally, not in a way that draws attention or creates unnecessary reputational harm. So ultimately, background research is not about building a case against someone before you meet them. It's about walking into the interview prepared, informed, and grounded in facts so that the conversation that follows is fair, focused, and meaningful.